Well, if I do that, I don't get the right one.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
I normally would say to keep an underpainting on a child very light, but this is a black child, and therefore you get the flexibility of being able to put these rich colors, which is maybe why I'm sort of fascinated with painting black people at the moment. Besides the fact that, you know, really, full lips are very hip right now, that all the actresses are getting collagen, so that might have something to do with it too. I find myself, I know I'm influenced by what is hip at the moment. I've noticed it when I took when red became my official favorite color. Because for years I used to kid my kids, they loved it, that I didn't have a favorite color. I had a favorite color of the day. And they just thought that was so funny. So I'm trying to guard my white somewhat. Part of the reason I chose this color, this cobalt blue, is that it will not travel as much. I would highly not recommend doing this with phthalo blue. I'm sort of mad at phthalo blue still though. I did a painting in it and it got, anyway, I fought that stuff traveling for so long I got mad at it. I don't want to have anything to do with phthalo blue. Better known as Windsor blue in this case probably. So we're going to go outside the lines in here after I carefully went that way. Because I like that. We're going to go over the earring here and there. I want to try and save that gleam on the earring because I do believe in this reference that this earring sort of counterbalances all the hair up here on the upper right. Let's see.
Can we turn off the date and time?
I don't know. I wish I could, but it's a brand new camera. I have no idea.
Go to menu, Frank.
Huh?
Go to menu.
Menu and time.
Okay, to menu. Where's my menu? Oh, it will not do it until I turn it off. I know, I hate to do it, but it's not on the video, but that's... Yeah, this is our first time with this. You're lucky I'm here. Really? Darlene called me and I says, "Can I ride with you?" And I says, "Where are we going?"
Thank you, Darlene. And I was nervous when I saw the snow. I told people I was trying to get people to come because I was afraid I'd end up doing this for nobody. So now that I've got this part done, I'm going to go to, remember Dick Graves and his talk, when he did his demo, he talked about color balance. I think about him when I do stuff like this. I'm going to come over here and put some down here because I need to balance all that blue over there. And then I'm putting some up here too, and it's starting to dry. Okay, the other place I noticed I've missed is, because I'm I'm so stuck in not going across the outlines. I have to make myself remember to do that. Some of this I'm not going to try and too wet too, because I'm already losing highlights. But, you know, there's a way to get those back, especially with this color, because this color is not a staining color. It's more easily removed. But what I'm doing here is I'm using the paintbrush to suck up the paint. You can only do it with a wet brush, but after it's been wet, you do this, and if you do it with synthetic brush, you may get it so dry that you have to wet it down again. So be careful with that, because they will suck it up even more than.
What paper did you say you were using?
Arches. Every time I try something else, I come back to it and regret I ever tried something else. So, I'm not, aqua something or other. One of those French words.
What kind of brush?
That is a Winsor Newton.
140 cold press or hot press?
Cold press.
Yeah, we should get that off.
And with men, you can put in a lot more of it. they're real natural to have some, because of the beard, some in the skin area. So now we're gonna go to a skin tone, and I am gonna be using a mixture of cadmium orange, and I think that's a Holbein color. Cadmium yellow orange, and it isn't, it's a winter nude color. I thought it was one. And it is an opaque color. My palette is almost exclusively transparent, and I will only use this color underneath. Because I have found in the past, if I try and layer it on top, I don't like it. It's opaque. And which, okay, so let's see. I think I went, I'm going to get my cheat sheet here so I make sure that it matches the next one. Oops. I think I'm going to start with wet in the face tone. Boy, does anybody have a clip or anything I can use to put this? Am I knocking that? I'm not knocking that nail, and it's still making
Yeah, I
a
know,
noise.
it's very touchy. I'm wondering if you ought to just leave it on the table and then talk, yeah, just leave it on the table. Set it down.
Sorry, guys.
There you
It
go.
has a rather short cord.
I think you'll still be able to hear it. Yeah.
We'll see if that's better. No, it's not better. And I was putting water down. Okay. Oh, here we go. I chose this color, I want to go really light with it. I chose the color because that's what I thought I saw in the reference. I sort of skipped over that part. We got busy with dinking around with technical stuff.
What color is that again?
This is a mixture of cadmium orange, yellow orange, it says on my cheat sheet over there, and a little bit of permanent rose, which I'm supposed to use that Richardson color.
What would you use for Caucasian?
Same thing.
Same thing?
I have a color chart over here. Am I going to go over? I'm going to go right over these lips, as I wonder if I did on the next
I
one.
wonder if you could move the paint up a little bit, because your
Okay.
head's mostly in the way for people to see. Yeah, good.
Is that better? Go right
Well,
over
it's a little
these
better.
lips.
I wonder if you could remove your head. No,
Oh, I
I
don't think that would work too well.
can't. Okay.
I mean, I have been told I lost concentration before, but that would be going a little even further. So I picked this color by looking at the reference and looking at the lightest color in there pretty much, other than where it's actually white. And she doesn't have a lot of white highlights on her face. There's one, as I remind myself. Let's see if we can soften this edge up here on the edge. And the other one I think I've started losing over here.
Is it possible to move the painting to the side of you so we
Which
can
way?
really see?
That way or?
Yeah, that way, left.
Where's the camera?
And then you move over a little
Your
bit.
head is right over the face.
Yeah,
There.
Okay, I'll try and move back.
yeah. If you could have a 12-foot brush would be nice.
I'll just ignore that.
Heidi. You were fast. Well, yeah. It's difficult to do a demo, you know, because your head is always in the way.
That's what I was afraid of. I thought maybe it would be better when you had your
Yeah.
little new gizmo there.
Well, it is, but still, I just blow up your head. That's all.
I think it'd be worse if I sat down. Besides, I can't sit down.
No, don't sit down.
I can't sit down.
You know,
my
if you-
daughter
if-
said to me, "Why did you have to buy that fancy chair for your studio? You never sit in it." And she was right. And I'm going to refer to this again.
You know, if you move those pictures
Mhm.
and move the painting up to the front of the table, because you're not in, well, you are in the picture, but you shouldn't really be. Move the painting out further up.
Okay, in a minute.
Oh, in a minute.
Well, the reason why we wanted to forgot what I did on this one, where I went off into the,
So now you're using dry paper?
yeah. Just trying to do some color balance here. I'm trying to make it match what I have over here. I don't know if I dare do this at this point. But this is a little bit of, I think it's probably too late down in here. But you know what, you'll never know because I'm going to put it over there and when those big blooms come, I'll just pretend it didn't happen. That was a little, yep, see it's starting. Or no, this is from the hair.
Why? Well, we're going to see if your head is going to be in a way with that. You know, you have to reach a little bit. It's an uncomfortable way of painting, but
I'll live. So now, I think I'm going to go back in with this same color. My paint is getting to the point where it's sort of hard to get it into solution.
It's drying, you mean?
It's just, I don't know. I've had it sitting with water in it for quite a while, but you know how it gets, when it gets towards the bottom of what you put out for a while, and it's got lots of little hard spots in it.
Yeah, well,
It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we got, so
you
what?
just moved it back.
Sorry. And then don't put the head in front either. Okay.
Okay, well, that's a little
Let's add
better
a little
anyway.
more of this to it. I want it a little pinky. This may be too dark.
It's so interesting to see you do this because, you know, I would not have picked those colors.
I don't even remember how I first came upon this combination. I know the brown, when I get to the, I think the first time I discovered this combination with the brown that I will add on top of this, it was doing wood. And it was like, that wood looks like it could, you know, be polished. It's sitting there breathing at you, glowing. So
Wow.
I think where it started. And I know it looks a little garish when we get it just past this stage.
So you had a piece of wood that you took
I was
the
doing
first
a
row.
table
Mhm.
with some flowers on it. I missed that highlight in there. I'm probably going to have to leave this color though. I will be going to a mixture of Indian yellow and permanent rose. It's just, there's so much orange in her skin and it's so much fun to use that color. You know, the whole reason I love to tell the story, the whole reason I have cadmium orange on my palette at all, because I was strictly transparent, was a demo here by Judy Blaine. She was doing those purple and blue iris, and she went to do the veer, that's the part with the pollen on it, and she grabbed cadmium orange and put it in there, and I went, oh, gotta have that color. It was just that. So I'm trying to save a little highlight along the bottom of the chin here that you probably can't see. Is my head out of the way for the most part?
Yeah, it's better.
Part, yeah.
It's about as best we can do, I think. Yeah, because now we get to see what you're painting. Although you have lovely hair.
Woo! Calico Heidi. You know? Well, you know, I asked the vet what kind of cat I was, and he said, she's a calico because she's got 3 colors. So I got 3 colors in this hair, so it's Calico Heidi. I was telling somebody at the break, a girlfriend of mine talked me into this that does hair. She was so into it, I couldn't say no to her. Now I like it though, and I just don't want to give it up. It's expensive.
Yep.
But she does it for me out of her home, so okay, let's see, what do we need on this side? And what you might be seeing me do there that I might not have stopped to comment on is I've been taking and putting the paint down and then getting water and soften that edge as we go along. And if you are uncomfortable or you're not pretty familiar with your watercolor to know to do that, if you put water down where you're going to be painting first, it will extend your drawing time and it will make it easier to do that. Even with feeling pretty comfortable with doing that, I still goof it up off and on. And I'm surprised I didn't do it since I'm in front of all you folks. You know, that would just be the perfect time to do it and make a...
But don't we learn by our mistakes?
Well, I like to think that when I make a mistake and I admit it when I'm teaching something, that I hope I make it into a learning experience for the students, because then they see that I'm not freaking out over it and that I find a solution around it. And so I try not to be too hard on myself when I goof up when I'm demoing in front of class. And I think I started to say earlier that this is somewhat of a simplified version of what I do. If I was doing, especially a paid portrait, I would be probably more careful with it, although part of me really wants to just say, forget that, and I'm going to do what I want. But a lot of it has to do with being, maybe not afraid, but figuring most people probably wouldn't appreciate that a whole lot. I was telling somebody at the break, some of these things I've been doing lately, I get the release from the parents a lot, for like this one and the little cowboy dancer over here. And I thought, I'm going to do them, and then if they like them, they can buy them. But I'm going to do them myself without them telling me what to do. So I can do what I want. So let's see.
That's why you still have that one?
Well, I haven't shown them yet.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
I thought I really like this one. I wanted to put it in
Right.
shows, and I'm not sure if I like that one at all.
Oh, I love that
I
one.
love that one, yeah.
There's
Heidi,
that-
what pink did you just pick up?
That is a color called lilac. It's also a not, and I don't have written on there. I bought it on a lark. You know how you're buying colors, and then you go, oh, and one more, just for fun. Oh, that one. And then I get it, and it's an opaque color, so I hardly used it. And I started using it in that one for the sequin area, and it mixes with some of the colors so beautifully. And after I did go reading on Transparent Watercolor Society's website, and I was a little nervous because the piece they selected, keep painting, Heidi, they selected has some opaque paint in it. You know, they had to pick the one with opaque paint, and I forgot it was even there until it got accepted, and then I got nervous. Because they do say that you can use it, you just have to use it in a transparent manner, but I thought, you know, you'll get somebody in there that's a volunteer on the board, and they make the ruling, and their ruling sticks, and that's that. And they're going to forget that they said on the website you can use it. I haven't heard back from them, so I guess it got accepted.
It works.
So this is not a color that I would normally have been using a lot until recently. But one of the things I love about black skin is the way it shines sort of purple in some light. Fascinating. Besides, one of the ladies in my last portrait class said, you ought to do a demo